What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What is going on? Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what day it is. It is Friday. So we live streaming today. Let me go ahead and share this out on social media so people can come on in. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you go ahead and like and share the stream as well. Let's see, who do we have in here so far? Black Tips Comic and Reader, Tanjon, Pisces the King, OG Swag, about to read your name twice. Ashen, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome everybody to the stream. What's going on, Dee Dee? And also, if you have not joined the community, the number is right there. Make sure you text it so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video, because the notifications on here don't always work. What's going on, Sonia and Dewani? Shamar Davis. What's going on? What's going on? I didn't really have, well, for today, I didn't really have a set live stream like I do, like with different topics and everything like that. That's why I called it Freestyle Friday with my subscribers. Because what I decided to do is at the end of every month, or the last Friday of every month, I want to do it how I do my end of the year streams, where I allow people to come up and talk about whatever it is that they want to talk about with me, and do that on a monthly thing instead of just an annual thing where it's just one day out of the year where you do it. That way it can feel like it's a better, I guess you can say, connection between me and my subscribers. So I will be doing that today, but there also is going to be some topics that will be discussed before I actually get to that. And then, if people want to come up and they want to talk about those same topics as well, they can feel free to do so. What's going on, Marie, Letitia, Darian, Jnet, I hope I'm pronouncing your name, Jnet, DNJ30, Aaron, Joseph. I had to make my other previous live stream private because it was something that was mentioned in that live stream by myself that I probably shouldn't have said. And I actually, one of my subscribers had reached out to me and just asked me to like make it private or just remove it. So that's why my previous live stream is not up right now. So that's why you don't see it. It's still up, quote unquote, but it's private, so nobody can see it. Only I have access to it. What's going on, Pinky, JYB, Vulcan, Donna, 007 Spidey, some chick named Star, Nuke Cage, that's an interesting name, Black Suede, Miss Cardio Queen. I caught some of Seiji Hito's stream this morning because I know he was talking about what was going on with GameStop and AMC. That's actually going to be one of the topics I'm going to talk about today. Like, I only have maybe 3 topics, I think, or maybe 4 that I'm talking about today, and then the rest of the stream I'm going to open up the I'm going to put the link in the chat, so if anybody wants to come up and talk about whatever, we'll go from there. But yeah, that whole GameStop situation, it's a mess, but we're going to talk about it though. What's going on, Sister Iman, Brother Mark 1992, Darlene, what's up? What's up? Black Voltron Reloaded, Anthony, what's up? What's going on? I hope everybody had a good Friday. I know I did. I was able to go to the gym today and I worked out. I didn't go yesterday like I should have. Got lazy. It is what it is. But I got my workout in today, and it was freezing today. Like this morning where I'm at, it was like 25 degrees. And it's actually where I'm at, it's actually supposed to be snowing on Sunday. I think this is supposed to snow Sunday. And we're expecting quite a bit of snow. Like, this is going to be like some of the most snow we get in years where I'm at. What's going on, Everyday Peoples, Darlene, Shamar, Sonia, Hate and Nate, what's going on? Gonna wait a couple more minutes. JD said, it's going good, JD. It's going, this week was a very good week for me. This week was a very good week for me, especially now that I, because of trend trading. Trend trading is like the best way to trade. 007. Yes, I'm gonna open up the live again today. Like I said, starting like I wanted to do something for like on a monthly thing. You know how at the end of every year I always do it where I open up the stream and let people come on and talk. But I only did it once a year, so I wanted to do it where I can open it up and have it monthly at the end of the last Friday of every month and do it like that instead of just doing it once a year. It's a lot of deaths happening right now. Too many, in fact. It was Ash, and it was very good. I thought episode 3 was going to be my favorite episode, but I think this one right here was good, and I think this one right here it opened up a can of worms, so to speak, and it answered a lot of questions. So going forward, like episodes 5 through 9 should be very, very, very good, especially with the promos that I've seen. What's going on, J Dog? And if y'all wondering what this is my protein shake. Let's see. So far, it says I have 51 people here. I'm gonna get started maybe around 4:10, no matter how many people is in here. What's going on, Boss Lady and Tawana? Let's see. OG so I like told you on the New Year's stream, they do both theatrical and streaming permanently. What's going on, Daughters of Zion? What's going on, Mark Stewart? Just waiting for a couple more people to get in, and then we are going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I only have like 4 topics that I'm talking about today, so I don't have like a whole list of things I'm talking about. That's why I'm that, and I didn't even plan. I planned it to actually be like that, but who knew all of this stuff was going to happen this week? What's up, Harley Lynn? Ashton, how are you finding out about all these people dying? Some of these people I didn't even know. Of course, I knew about Cicely Tyson, but you mentioned like 2 people in here that I didn't even know passed away. The one that you just mentioned, I heard of that actor, especially because of that role. What's going on, Versatile Legacy? Boss Lady, you said they go in 3s. It seems like nowadays they're going in 4, 5s, and 6s. Because I think in the last week or so, probably about 6 people died. Because you had Hank Aaron that passed last week. You had the actor who played Julio on Sanford and Son. He died last week. Somebody else died last week too. Who was it? It was somebody else who died last week, who was in the same age bracket as Hank Aaron. Like they were all in, like all 3 of them were in that same age bracket. I forgot. And then you had Cicely Tyson. She passed. Ashton said the actor who played Whistler on Blade, he passed. And he mentioned somebody else that passed. So that's like 6 people right there that passed in the last week. Larry King. Thank you, Darlene. Larry King. That's who it was. Larry King died last week too. So that's like 6 people in the last week. Okay, so now, okay, let me go and confirm this because I'm having one person saying that he's still alive and one that's saying that he's not. So let me go ahead and confirm this. Okay, the actor who played Whistler, whose name is Chris Christopherson, did not die. It just said he has retired from acting. Appreciate the super chat. Cole Red 713. Salute, brother. Salute to you and appreciate the super chat. He's Chris Christopherson, the actor who played Whistler in Blade, did not die. He retired from acting. That's what it said. I just looked it up. And notice that a lot of the people that are dying nowadays are up in age. Like they're not young. Like they're 80s and their 90s and ones who've lived full lives. But they died, but the way they're dying so frequently, like I said, this is like 6 deaths in the last week. You good, Ashton. I know it can become overwhelming, and you probably saw something and it probably said that he died, but no, he did not die. He actually just retired from acting. Hopefully he can come back and maybe do a cameo for the new Blade movie in the MCU. Just like they want Wesley Snipes to do a cameo in the Blade movie when they come up with the MCU as well. But who knows? I just heard about that one, Brenda Hill. I saw that in passing. I think somebody may have sent it to me. I'm not entirely sure. So that's another person who passed away. It's crazy. Well, Dr. Carpy, I think people like Betty White a whole lot more than the Queen. I think people like her a lot more than the Queen. I'm just being honest. As a matter of fact, they like her so much that every time Betty White trends on Twitter, people will have to gasp for air because they think something happened to her. When all it is like, no, she's still alive. It's just her birthday. Marcus, you said you sent me a Cash App. Hold on, let me see. Okay, I got it. Appreciate it. I got it. I need to put my phone on airplane mode or something because these notifications going to drive me crazy. Let's see, who else do we have that came in here? What's going on, Robert? All right, it is 4:13, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And since we already all talking about all this death and everything, I think the obvious thing for me to start with is talking about the passing of Cicely Tyson. I was actually, when I found out about it, I was actually on a Zoom call last night. And then it just started to come through my phone. And sometimes you got to confirm because they like to tell people that people die or everything like that, and sometimes it's not always the case and whatnot. But it turns out she actually did indeed pass. And that's it's sad, but at the same time, she lived a very full life. She lived a very full life. I believe they said she was 96. So that's a long time. That's a lot of living. She saw a lot. She's lived through a lot. She, got a lot of accolades. She was a wonderful, phenomenal actress. One of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie with Cicely Tyson, was Bustin' Loose, the movie she did with Richard Pryor back in the early 80s. That was probably one of my favorite Cicely Tyson films because it was a movie where she was doing comedy. And she had to play off of Richard Pryor, and I just it's just amazing how her and Richard Pryor was able to engage with each other with them badass kids on that bus trip. But that was probably one of my favorite films with her. And of course, someone mentioned in the chat her playing Kunta Kinte's mother. I remember seeing her in that when I was in school. I was in elementary school back in the 90s, or maybe it was middle school or something like that. And that was actually the first movie I ever saw that dealt with slavery. And as a kid, that hurt to watch. And one of the most heart-wrenching scenes I saw was with her in it. And that was when, they first came over to the continent and they stole the people, including her son, who of course was Kunta Kinte. And when they went back to the village, and his dad had held up the little I forgot what it was. It was something he would always wear. And then she let out this big cry, this big loud cry. And that part right there, I think as a 12-year-old, because I think that's when I watched it when I was like 12. Watching her do that, that hit my heart. And I remember going home and telling my parents about it. And like I could barely get through the conversation without crying. Like that's how much emotion she let out in that one scene. And her part in that movie was not even that big. She was only in the first few parts before, when they snatched him and took him to America, her part was done. Appreciate you, Kenny, for the super chat. He says, "What up, my DMV brother? Just stopping through to show support. So at the office, rest in peace to Cicely, Tyson, peace to the chat, and enjoy the weekend. Appreciate you. And I will definitely be over on the channel tomorrow." Yes, boss lady. A lot of people said that they liked her in the autobiography, Miss Jane Pittman. I never actually sat and watched that movie. Now, another movie I loved her in was called Mama Flora's Family. Who remembers that movie? It was called Mama Flora's Family. It was her, Erica Alexander, Shamar Moore, Queen Latifah. I think Mario Van Peebles was in that movie too. It was called Mama Flora's Family. That was a very good movie. If y'all have never seen that, I would suggest that you watch it. What's going on, Ty? Oh, shout out to Taisha Essex. I still can't get over that skit that you did. You really had me believing that actually happened. That's how clever it was. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people say that they saw her, they watched her in Hoodlum. Believe it or not, and y'all probably gonna get on me for this. I have never seen Hoodlum. For some reason, I kept getting Hoodlum and Harlem Nights mixed up because they almost were on the same timeline, but I know they had different actors. But one thing that I do remember from the Hoodlum movie was that one picture that they will always show of her sitting at the table, at the desk. And it was like you had Lawrence Fishburne and there was a couple of other actors that were standing like around her, like they were her guards. But I will definitely check that out when I get the chance, because I keep hearing how great that movie is and how much of a classic it is. And luckily for me, I have a Fire Stick, so it's nothing for me to go and type it in and go and look it up. But yeah, Cicely Tyson definitely lived a very, very, very long life. So it's kind of like a shock that she passed, but it's also not so shocking at the same time. And one thing, I learned that she was married to Miles Davis, and I heard that she was the one that convinced him to get off drugs, because Miles Davis was a heavy user, and she convinced him to get off drugs, and they were married at one point. I heard that she was very careful with the type of roles that she would choose to take. A lot of people nowadays will just take any and every role, but not her. And back then, as a Black actor or actress, there were only certain type of roles that you could do, that they pigeonholed you into. That usually was a stereotype. But she was very careful about the type of roles that she picked. And nowadays, a lot of people just pick roles because the check is good. They say, "Oh, we'll just throw this money at you to play this and that and the third." But yeah, she had an amazing catalog, an impressive resume, might I add, that extends decades. She's definitely an icon, without a doubt. And she definitely will be missed. I had said something last night. Could you imagine Cicely Tyson and Betty White in a movie together at their age? Could you imagine what that movie would have been like? What would the plot to that be? Robert, I don't know if that's what, I don't know if she had it or she just died of natural causes. I'm not going to put that out there if it's not true. And I bet you she had stories for days. I bet like you could go. I bet you could. I can tell she had a sharp mind. I bet you could go up there and just tell and just listen to her talk about her personal life, her career life from where it started all the way to now. And you know what's so crazy? She was set to release a book today. I think she had a book coming out today. Doesn't she? I think she had a book coming out today. And how ironic that she passes right before her book comes out. And yes, live from NYC, everyone can confirm, can say this. Cicely Tyson, as much as she has, age wise, she did not look it. Like that's the definition of aging gracefully. You can tell that she treated her body like a temple. Okay, Taisha, okay, so yeah, I was right. She did have a book coming out today, and ironically, she passes right the day before. So I'm sure that her book is going to fly off the shelves because of that. It shouldn't be that way, but you know how society is. That's exactly how society works. Oh yeah, like I said, Taisha, she definitely had a very, very sharp mind. But yeah, definitely RIP to Cicely Tyson. The people, the community definitely lost a great one with her. What's going on, Craig? But now I want to move on to another topic, and I don't plan to stay on this one for very long. And I could have done a triple P about this one, but I decided not to. Instead, I will wait until today to talk about it. What's going on, Spike? What's going on, Queen of Spades? And that is the Coonstress finally had her baby. The Coonstress finally had her child. What's going on, Chris G? She finally had that baby. I remember I had teased her and said, is she part elephant? Because, they be pregnant forever. Now, the reason why I'm bringing her up is not because she had her child. It's because of the backlash behind it. And it's not from us. Anthony, yes, I get that all the time. All the time. I wish I can get $1 a day for every time I heard someone say that I look like Ludacris. I really wish I could. But the usual suspects went in on her. She posted a picture of her child after she gave birth, to clean the child up, and she posted the picture of her child on social media, like maybe her Twitter account, maybe her Instagram. And the palm-colored primates went in on that picture. Not to congratulate her, not to say that I'm glad that you gave birth to a healthy baby boy. What's going on, Amara? No, none of that. But to basically call her everything but a child of God and basically talk a lot of crap about her child. Now, I have always said that whenever I talk about the Coonstress, I will focus solely on her. I don't have to go outside of the realm and talk about her child. Her child, after all, did not ask to be here. Her child is off limits. And y'all can look at any video I've done about her since she was been pregnant, and y'all will look and see that I never said anything about her child. But I'm not surprised that the people that are talking about her child in the way that they are the same ones whose ass she has been kissing ever since we have unfortunately come to know her. What's going on, Jordan? I'm not surprised. And the crazy part about it is, even after all of that, she will still be set in her ways and still act the way that she does. She won't call them out. I bet you if it was a horde of black people that did what those what PC did about her child, she would have a field day going up and down her page, and her partners in crime would back her up. I have not heard of her going back at them, because those are the same people who claim to support her. Exactly, Black Tips Comic and Reader. According to her, we are the problem. And have you ever noticed that the Coonstress seems to have this savior complex? As you know how we always talk about the white savior complex, where they always got to come in and save the black people from something. Notice she tries to do that while still clinging on to her blackness. I wonder what's the last cookout she's ever been invited to. Not been to, but been invited to. Like someone actually called her up and say, Candace, we having a cookout today. Candace, the family reunion is this weekend. We are inviting you and your husband and your child. One of two things is happening. One, she's not getting an invite, or two, she's getting invited, but she's not going. Like I said, I could have easily did a triple P on her, but I decided not to. I restrained myself. As petty as I can be, I restrained myself from doing a triple P on her. And that would have been perfect. Because I kept saying, remember what I've said. Karma may not fall upon you directly to you from what you do, but it can fall upon you from people around you. It's just that now karma has hit her through her child. And yes, I do feel bad for the kid to have a mother like that. Because I'm almost scared to see how that child is gonna be raised. I can almost predict how that child is gonna be raised. Look at what's his name? Christian Walker, the son of Herschel Walker, and all of that neck popping and mouth smacking and twirling he does. And his dad is horrible. So I can almost predict that's how her son is going to turn out. I'll be shocked if her son rebels against her. I'll be shocked if her son turns out to be like a Colin Kaepernick. She will probably lose her shit if that happens. Imagine her son one day asking her, "Mommy, can you buy me a Colin Kaepernick jersey?" She'll probably give him a whooping. She said, "I'm gonna spank the nigga out of you." I can hear it now. What's going on, Brandon? I can see and hear it now. And notice we never hear from her husband. We never hear from her husband. It's almost like sometimes he exists and sometimes he don't, or he's just there. You know, like how you have furniture. That's kind of how he is. Hold on, y'all. I think I need to get a new camera, a new webcam, because this one right here keeps messing up. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I think I need to get a new webcam because it keeps going in and out sometimes. See, there it went again. It just happened again. And it's crazy because the light is on. Okay. Well, I'm not about to get back up and change it again. Y'all just going to have to hear my voice right now. But yeah, as far as her husband goes, I don't even know the guy's name. I know his last name is Farmer or something like that. I think they say he's a lord or he's the heir to something, but that's about it. What's going on, Stephanie? You said her husband may be like Chad Wheeler. That video is coming. Speaking of, that Chad Wheeler video is coming because I've had so many people ask me in the comment section about that story. I said it's coming. It'll probably be Hopefully this weekend. Like I told you, I was going. If y'all follow me on Twitter, I've been going on a recording spree. So much, in fact, that I didn't even I didn't record any videos today. I think yesterday I recorded like one or two, but in the last couple of days I've been putting them out like crazy. But that's all a testament to y'all for sending me so many stories. Whether y'all sending me stuff through the community text, the DM on Twitter, the DM on Instagram, emails, tagging me on Twitter. So that's why I said I have so many social media accounts. So there's more than one way that you can reach me. Because some people have said that they got banned on Twitter. So they found me on Instagram and they send me stuff through that. Imagine if I just had one or two social medias then and you was banned on one of them, you wouldn't be able to contact me. But yeah, I have quite a few videos lined up that I can't wait for y'all to see. And that is definitely one of them. That's why I'm not talking about it today in this stream. But yeah, as far as the coonstress goes, she's all on her own. Her and her husband and her child. Like I said, the only one I feel bad for is the child. Because to have that thing as a mother. Could you imagine if she was able to have a baby shower? That thing would probably look like the court jester Coons engagement party. You know, Daniel Cameron. It'll probably look just like that. She would be the only black person there, and she would be so happy that that's the way that it is. Crackhead Joe, you said, how come she's not caping for Emmanuel Jackson? I don't know, and I really don't care, because who's really caping for him? He put himself in that position. Well, Vulcan 2054, the same could be said about Andrew Phillum, and we saw what position he was found in last year. I'm gonna talk about that AB Media. That's probably like I only have two more topics to talk about before I one more topic to talk about before I get to that, because I know a lot of people want to hear my take about that situation. And I can't wait to give it either, because that's crazy. What's going on, Third Ward? My Taurus twin. But I'm about to go. I'm gonna share my screen right quick for this next story. Actually, the next two stories, as a matter of fact. Hold on. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen right quick. So everybody has been talking about this story right here. I'm gonna have to pull my phone up because I'm not using the dual screen feature today. And that is about Enrique Tarrio, the Proud Boys leader, most likely having been, or maybe currently still is, a FBI informant. I can honestly say that I'm not even in the least bit surprised that this revelation even came about. And I bet you he may not even be the only informant. It's just that because he's the leader of the Proud Boys, that of course he's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Like, you gotta think, like, this guy was really putting himself out there in so many ways to be seen. He almost strikes me as an attention seeker. That's what he kind of, strikes me as. But you know who this really falls upon? It falls upon the Proud Boys organization as a whole. Because it's like, you mean to tell me this guy has been working undercover since 2012, y'all. 2012. It is now 2021. And y'all didn't vet this man. So y'all basically had an informant as your leader. So let's see 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 9 years he's been an informant. 9. And y'all just let that slide. As far as I'm concerned, black people, this is not our problem. This is their problem. Let them handle it. Don't get involved with it. Let them deal with him if they deal with him. I'm curious, though, now that this has all come out, what are they going to do going forward? After all, the Proud Boys let the Pride Boys infiltrate their little organization. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember a couple months ago when the Academy got in there and they said, we're going to revamp the Proud Boys and we're going to call it the Pride Boys. Notice they didn't really come back at them when they decided to do that. Now the Proud Boys is looking more all lives matterish to me. You're right, live from NYC. If he's a real informant, why he sucks at it? Because you got to ask yourself another question: why would they expose this if they know he's an informant and he's used to infiltrate this organization? Why would you expose him? Why would you give away his position? Did he do something he wasn't supposed to do and you just gave it up? Because I didn't know they were supposed to expose it like that. This is in the Miami hearing. A federal prosecutor, a Federal Bureau of Investigation agent, Ontario's own lawyer, described his undercover work and said he had helped authorities prosecute more than a dozen people in various cases involving drugs, gambling, and human smuggling. Shoot, if they did all of that, what makes you think that they wouldn't do the same thing to the people in that organization? Because I bet you the 3 things I just mentioned, I bet you many of them fall into that category. That's what I thought, Vampire Hunter Gray. They're not supposed to expose you. So that's why I said, what did he do? Who did he rub the wrong way? Either way, this is not our fight. Let them deal with it. Let them fight with each other and claw at it and gnaw and maul and whatever at each other while we handle what we got to handle over here. But I know why they put him in front. Because they said, well, if we put this brown-skinned Hispanic in charge of this organization, they can't say we're a dub-S hate group. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Y'all couldn't be any more wrong if you tried. Nice try, though. But nah. But this is their problem. Let them deal with it. That's all I got to say. So let me get off of that and move to the topic that has literally dominated the news, the internet, maybe the radio, online media for the last 2 days. And that's this GameStop AMC stock debacle. Before I even get into it, was anybody affected by this? Was anybody in any of these trades that happened, and were you affected by this? Because I know a few people who was in this. I wasn't. I know a few people who were in this who said they were affected by it. Like they said they made a couple of trades and all of a sudden they went back into their Robinhood account and they said their transactions got canceled. Was anybody affected by this? Okay, I see Arox Body said no. Miss Cardi the Queen said no. Solo Dole said he didn't invest. No, and a lot. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people that said that they were not. And as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and open up this other tab because it's something else that I wanted to show y'all. Hold on right quick. Okay. Hold on, y'all. It's one thing I'm trying to find. Hopefully, let me see something. Because it's something that somebody who is involved said, and I want y'all to hear every word this person said. I'm not gonna sit here and say I can't believe what they said. But I'll pull it up when I get. All right. So yeah. So basically, and I'm gonna try to explain this to the best of my ability because it has so many moving parts. So basically, GameStop and AMC basically lowered the price of their shares at a very, very, very low price. I'm talking about dirt cheap that anybody who was anybody could have got in to purchase stock. And basically, this was GameStop and AMC's way of getting a bailout because they needed the money. Because, you know, last year with WooVid and everything like that, businesses lost a lot of money, even big businesses like GameStop and AMC, as I'm sure many of you have already seen. I think they said it was like 800%. Like it was down a lot. And people got a hold of it. They went on their Robinhood and started buying a whole bunch of stock. And they basically found a workaround from them hedge fund people. You know, the hedge fund people, they got all the money. Like they're them billionaires and everything like that. And they didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. They really hated the fact that the everyday average person was able to do and move the way that they move. Now, before I go forward, if this does not prove the greediness of America, and I'm just talking about America right now, I don't know what will. A lot of people, before they cut the trading off, came up in the last couple of days. I heard someone made like $1,000 in 2 days from GameStop. I had saw a post on on Instagram, where this a black mother, she had got some GameStop stock for her son, who was like probably no older than 10, and got like $3,200 off of it. So people were, making gains. Some making more gains than they've ever made before when it comes to stock trading. And everyone knows stock trading is a risk. Any type of trading is a risk, to be honest, but especially stocks. So people was buying and buying and buying and buying, and GameStop and AMC were probably just sitting there wide-eyed like, I can't believe what's happening. It's like our plan is actually working. Until those hedge fund people got involved and got so upset that they decided that look, Robinhood, because they know that's the main one that people use to trade on, we're gonna stop you from letting anybody continuing to get stock in AMC and GameStop. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop the people, not the hedge fund people, but the everyday people from getting stock in these companies, because now we're being affected. You know what this reminds me of? Y'all remember last year when 45 had went on, he had did a rally right the day after Juneteenth, the day after Juneteenth in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He, people had got tickets and everything for his event, but you had people on TikTok who used TikTok to buy all those tickets just to not show up and everything like that. And then he came down on TikTok and wanted to demand that TikTok shut down because of that. This kind of reminds me of that. But while they stopped the people from buying stock in GameStop and AMC, guess what those hedge fund people were doing? They were going in and buying and selling those same stocks that they told Robinhood to put a hold on or a restriction on for the other people. They got jealous. They got scared. See, this situation right here just exposed how much power the average person has, even more so as a collective over most of the hedge fund people. The fact that you even had to do that shows that you were scared. You were fearful of what was to come. But guess what happened? They pulled out that class action lawsuit against Robinhood so fast. They said, look, we got the documents right here. We about to take your ass to court. Because you had no right to do that. None. So this isn't going to stop here. This is not going to stop here. It's going to keep on going. It's going to keep on compounding. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I forgot to turn the audio on for the share screen thing because it's something I wanted y'all to hear. And that's from this page right here. And look at the caption. It says they get real upset when you are at home learning how to invest. Learn anyway. Now I want y'all to listen closely to what this old Bob Newhart looking palm colored fool says. Listen closely.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together. The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together.
Y'all heard that. I played it twice. He said that he feels that people are sitting at home and they're spending their checks. Now, the check he's talking about is probably a stimmy, maybe the stimulus check. People like him expect people to spend that stimulus check on just a bunch of bullshit. He don't think that people are going to invest. Now, I think they said this guy's a billionaire, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know who this guy is, but I think they say he's a billionaire. And he said they're sitting at home, they're spending their checks, but he said spending. He didn't really say investing. He didn't say investing. Notice the words. He said they're at home spending their checks, not investing, spending. And he called it a bunch of bullshit and that it is hurting wealthy people. He tried to make a claim for wealthy people being oppressed. Y'all, I think we have found the key to Pandora's box. Right, Stephanie? He lost a lot of money. That's why he's upset. He's not the only one like he's not the only one that feels like that, but he's the only one that had the balls to come on television and say it. And how ironic it's an old PC man that got out front and center and said it. They are mad because the average everyday citizen who may not get a chance to see $1 billion in their lifetime is getting their piece of the pie the same way they got it. But see, the thing is, once they got it, they wanted to act as gatekeepers and lock it down and not open it back up. And then try to tell people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps while claiming that everything is equal and fair. If you don't get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. This is exactly why I put on my Twitter the other day. If y'all follow me, you saw it. I said equality is a myth. It is just a fancy word in the dictionary. This right here is proof. Let me play it again.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And
getting their checks from the government. Notice his tone too. Getting their checks from the government. Meanwhile, don't a lot of billionaires get government bailouts themselves? They don't call them handouts, though. They call them bailouts.
This fair share is a bullshit concept.
This fair share concept. This fair share is a bullshit concept. You heard him say it. He said fair share is a bullshit concept. Being fair is bullshit to him. It's oppressing wealthy billionaires. To be fair is to be wrong.
It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And, you know, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together.
He gonna sit up there and say that, you know, fair share is bullshit, is a bullshit concept, and he said is attacking wealthy people, is oppressing wealthy people, and then comes back to end it off by saying we need to find a way to pull together and work together. How you hear the contradiction, right? You hear the contradiction, the contradictory tone, the language. On one hand, you say to be fair is a bullshit concept. And then on the other hand, you say we got to come together and pull together so we can get through this together. Now, when he said getting together, he wasn't talking about the average everyday person. He was talking about him and his other billionaire buddies. They got to come together and they got to stop the average everyday person from coming up. We got to make sure they stay down and continue to beg us for their daily bread. We cannot allow them to move for themselves, think for themselves, make a financial path for themselves, create generational wealth like we did. We need them to rely on us. And if we continue to let this happen, then all of this shit goes straight to hell in a handbasket. That's what he's saying. I can't even bring myself to even be mad about this. I'm actually glad that we actually get to see this because I've never seen someone actually say this out of their mouths. You may have heard about it, but you hear things and hear things in passing, but you never really actually hear them say it out of their mouth. And what happened this week proved that. They saw that the vast majority of Americans was getting on their shit, on their investing shit. Because in their eyes, they see the average everyday person as lazy, low down, broke. But this week, they saw the complete opposite. They saw themselves when they first started. But the thing is, they want to be the only ones that stands on top of that glass ceiling, and everybody else is crawling and gnawing to get through or crack to get through that glass ceiling that they've been the gatekeepers of for so long. Like he said, This fair share is a bullshit concept. Those were his words. And I was just saying the other day, I think it was last week, I said, I'm actually glad that a lot of Black people are getting into investing. A lot of Black people are investing in stocks and currencies right now. You'll be surprised. And I'm not talking about your celebrities or your athletes or your socialites and big business owners. I'm talking about your people who work 9 to 5s, people who may work from home, all of that. Now, that is what they're really scared of. What if every Black person in America started off doing what they're doing? Do you realize we would not even have to ask the government for reparations because we would be creating our own? And that's the point. They don't want us to create our own. They want us to constantly beg and grovel and rely on them for the rest of our lives. That is what it boils down to. They want to be the head honcho. They don't want to be removed. They want to see this thing all the way to the end and then some. Or at least when they're gone, they know it's in good hands, and they know the hands they don't want it to be in is our hands. Well, I got a news flash for you. I know quite a few people, Black people in particular, who are coming up in a major way on this investment shit. Quite a few. You don't know about them yet, but something tells me if you stick around long enough, you will find out. And that is the Black ass bottom line. Notice how in a lot of schools, they don't want to teach them about investing in finance, especially in a lot of Black urban schools. They don't teach that. They barely teach that in colleges. They teach you to go to school, get good grades, get a job, make sure you pay off them loans. And some people have been out of school for how many years and they still paying on them loans. Mess their credit all the way up. Be in debt. Remember, student loan debt is the only form of debt that you cannot pay, that you cannot file for bankruptcy for. You cannot file Chapter 13 in student loan debt. The people who have student loan debt are good right now because of what happened last year, so they don't have to pay anything. So they keep extending and pushing it back. They just need to cancel it altogether. You right, Joseph. They still owe us. They still owe us. You gotta forgive me. I was in the mood. I was in the mode right quick. I get in the mode and it's hard to stop. But yeah, they still owe us. But I'm gonna be honest. They not gonna be quick with it. See how they shut this down? Every time you get ahead, we get knocked 10 steps back. But that's fine because the people are on their head right now, and good for them, and rightfully so. That's their money you're playing with. You don't play with people's money, you don't play with their time. And I hope the people that filed that class action lawsuit against Robinhood wins. Hopefully they win. Go and sit up there and tell people you can invest in this, you can invest in that, but don't do too much. Because it's supposed to be for us, not for you, really. They like you to win, but only as far as they want you to win. And that's not very far. But yeah, I just wanted y'all to hear that audio right quick. I didn't expect to go off on a tangent the way that I did, but it is what it is. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm dropping the link into the chat. Anybody who wants to come up and talk, I'm going to probably keep this going for maybe the next 30 minutes. And we can go from there. Appreciate the super chat, Solo Dolly, says they always kicking our ladder. Kicking it burning it, and after they kick it over, they burn it to make sure that you don't put it back up and take all the tools so you don't build a new one. Like a lot of stuff came out from this situation right here, a lot. And then some. Now watch, after this happens, they're going to put more restrictions out there. They're going to say, oh, you're going to need this. You're going to need that. Something that is unattainable by the average person. That's called moving the goalpost. For those of you out there listening who have heard that term but didn't quite get it. This is a whole moving the goalpost scenario. But I've also seen that now they're talking about a new cryptocurrency called Dogecoin. I think it's called Dogecoin. What's going on, Caressa?
How you doing, bro?
How you doing?
Oh, guys, nice and cold here in New York.
I can tell. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
Just getting out of work, you know.
Yeah, I know if it's cold up in your. I know if it's cold here. I know it's cold in New York.
Yeah, honey, it's about 18 degrees out here.
Yeah, it's about, like I said earlier, it was about 25 degrees here, and it's supposed to snow on Sunday.
Yeah, it was supposed to snow Monday.
Wow. But what you want to talk about?
When I was on everybody's minds, what's going, you know.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I have to say, rest in peace to Queen Cicely Tyson.
Right.
I didn't expect that last night. That was heartbreaking to me. She is an icon.
Mm-hmm.
Classy and sassy. I just wish she didn't do that interview with Gayle King, you know.
Oh.
And I also wanted to bring awareness. Oh, did y'all hear about the guy who shot his mother in the head because he told her to go and get a job?
Yeah, I have a video coming about that. I did hear about that. That. I have no words for it right now, but it'll be in the video.
Because it's something about what you and Harvey were saying about certain people,
mm-hmm.
In our communities who don't hold weight, mm-hmm. And it goes to the Pound speech by Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say on this.
Yeah, that video will be up. That video will be up soon.
Oh, that's good. So I just want to make sure everybody's doing well, staying warm, staying safe.
Right. Same to you.
All right. See ya later.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, shout out to Caressa. You know, that's the one who sends me a lot of stories. Y'all you see me shout her out a lot in my streams. Well, my streams and my videos. So shout out to her. What's going on, AB Media?
Hey, what's going on, Tori?
What's up? What you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, rest in power to Cicely Tyson. That was a shocker yesterday.
Definitely.
But yeah, I've been following the GameStop stuff because when I saw it on my political feed, I was like, wait a minute, what does GameStop have to do with political with political news? And right through the store, I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And full disclosure, I wasn't invested in GameStop, but I was a frequent customer back in the day.
Yeah, me too.
And a couple years ago, I decided to go digital. It's just easier.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been to GameStop in a couple of years, and it was just interesting to me. I never thought about. I knew they were having trouble.
Yeah.
I've heard stories off and on that you know they're gonna completely go under. They filed for bankruptcy. Yada yada yada. I think Microsoft has helped them now. I'm not sure. That's the last I heard. Then this story comes out about the investors.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Who would ever thought GameStop would lose hedge funds companies billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
about working for GameStop. Then I talked to some of their employees. Nah, I won't do it.
Yeah.
They paid them the joke. They paid them the joke wage. I can't do it.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when I was younger, wanting to work at GameStop was an idea that I had. But of course, it never happened and everything like that. But it is what it is. But yeah, GameStop. I haven't been I can't remember the last time I've been in a GameStop either. Even when I go to the mall, I just walk past the store. But the thing is, I haven't really played any gaming consoles or any video games lately. I will be the one to go on YouTube and just watch the gameplay. That's just me, and I'll tell that to anybody.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I don't. It's not that I don't have any interest or anything like that. It's just that I don't set aside the time to want to do it. And to tell you how long it's been since I've had a gaming console. The last gaming console I had was the 360.
Okay.
So that tells you how long ago that was. That's back when I was in high school. So that was the last gaming console I've had. But I don't knock people who game or who are gamers because there's money to be made in that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about starting a gaming channel myself, just to get some money out of it.
Yeah, just go ahead. I mean, the outlet is there. I'll say it's very saturated now, especially like on Twitch and stuff like that, because that's where a lot of the gamers are at.
Yeah, I do a few gaming videos every now and then on my main channel, but I'm thinking about just separating it out in the gaming channel, and have my main channel be stick to news, like kind of like your channel. Stick to news stories I come across and stuff.
Yeah, just do like I always tell people when it comes to making videos and making content, just stick with whatever it is that or whatever it is that you like to talk about. Like, don't do anything to appeal to people. You got to do something that you like, and then let the people come to you.
Right. My biggest videos though are actually the political videos.
Well, if you feel the political videos are your strongest suit, then I would say stick with those, because there's always something happening on a political circuit, especially now that they just wrapped up with this election and everything like that. It's going to be a lot of politics and stuff going out constantly over and over and over again. Like, politics is like a revolving door. It does not stop opening or closing.
No, it doesn't. There's a new story every day.
But I said just like be careful, because because politics is always a touchy subject. So you definitely have to know what you're talking about, because the minute that you slip up, you're going to draw the wrong crowd, and you're going to be prepared to chew you alive. Trust me on this. And I don't even talk about politics a lot on any of my videos, but because of the type of videos that I make, I know it can be triggering to certain people. But those are mostly trolls.
You don't have to tell me. I mentioned the alphabet and they clutched their pearls in 2 seconds, and not even an offensive way.
Yeah.
I learned that on Twitter. I was responding to Brianna Joy Gray about something, and she's like, "You don't like transgenders?" I'm like, "What? Transformers? Sorry." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Okay, go away."
Yeah, that's why when I talk. I had remember it was at one point when I had said I wasn't going to talk about that community so much. And I tried, but so much stuff and a lot of hypocrisy came out of that community that I just could not ignore it. But I had to find a way to talk about them without going overboard with it, without sounding offensive, and using a little code speak here and there that also wasn't offending at the same time. That's why, believe it or not, a lot of those videos get monetized. Like, I did a video yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, about this 19-year-old who tried to pull a Jeffrey Dahmer on this guy he met on a dating app. And
I eat him.
Well, he said that Jeffrey Dahmer was his inspiration, and I said, anybody who says that, you go the other way. That person is certified crazy.
That's crazy.
But basically, he tried to. They said he tried to dismember his hands or something like that, and he basically lured him. He tried to pull a Jeffrey Dahmer. He said Jeffrey Dahmer was his inspiration. We all know the Jeffrey Dahmer story as much as we could tolerate it, because it's a very disgusting story. And that was it. He said that I think the guy he lured there ended up getting paralyzed because he paralyzed him. It's a wild story. The video's on my page.
Wow. Speaking of Transformers, I think it's interesting that we should stay out of Biden just came out and said it's okay for them to use the bathroom.
I heard about I know that's probably coming next, but I know about the sports. Like they said they're going to let them participate in women's sports.
But you know what I thought about the people complaining about the bathroom? Like, you know what? Every janitor I've talked to said has talked about who has the nastiest bathroom. If they want to go in there, not my problem.
I've heard that too.
But I'm gonna get off and let you let somebody else up if somebody's waiting.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for coming up.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. Shout out to AB Media. If anybody else wants to come up, there's the link right there. I'm posting it again because it might have gotten lost somewhere in the comments or whatever. In OG7 007 Spidey, you don't have to be nervous. You can come on. You don't have to have your camera on. You just come on and we just talk. No need to be nervous. And I'll admit it, when I first started doing YouTube, I was a bit nervous. Like if y'all could see what my first videos were compared to now, where you can tell by the sound of my voice that it's coming natural to me. It is a nervous thing because you're speaking to thousands of people every single day, and some of them you have never seen and will never see. And you never know how they're going to receive your content. But I figure since, people keep coming back, so they must love something I'm talking about or some things. But yes, I just posted the link back again in the chat if anybody would like to come up and talk about whatever, like whatever we talked about here. Okay. I see now. Okay. What's going on? We're gonna shake those nerves. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. What's going on?
Not much, man. It's just real cold here in Milwaukee. I'll tell you what.
I bet. You ain't got to tell me. Milwaukee, y'all are too close to Canada.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Well, what you want to talk about?
Not much, man. Of course, just like everybody else that said that came on here before me. Rest in peace to Queen Cicely Tyson. She was a legendary actress. Yep. Yeah. Like you said, she didn't have a big role in Roots, but she definitely did play her play her ass off in that movie. I just gotta say.
Yeah, I always say that, they always say that there's no such thing as a role that's too big or too small. Just do with the role that you can if you don't have a big part. And she did what she could, because I think if I could just throw out a screen time for the amount of time she was on screen for that movie, I would say she was probably on there for no more than 20 minutes. Like she had her part was very small, but people remember it. And she was only in the first part. Like you didn't see her character ever again, even within the first part, after Kunta Kinte and everyone else was captured and put onto those boats. After that, her part was done.
Exactly. But she did plenty of other roles. Like, of course, I think people probably mentioned before, Miss Jane Pittman. I really enjoyed that movie. The last time I watched that movie was in middle school, and even though I haven't seen it in a while, I really enjoyed that movie. That's a movie that doesn't get talked about a lot.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but she definitely lived a long, full life. She definitely had a very lengthy, worthy, strong career. Like I said, an incredible resume. So now, while she's physically not here anymore, we still have her body of work.
Exactly. But yeah, man, I also wanted to talk about that whole GameStop, / AMC craziness on Wall Street. That's why I even said like the last time I was on the last open stream, as I call it, that you did. Like I said, like why don't like especially specifically with AMC and all the other movie theater chains. Here in Wisconsin, we got this chain called Marcus. You may have heard of it. It's like kind of popular in the Midwest. Uh, yeah, I just feel like why can't we just have? I know they're kind of doing it now, but like I'm saying permanently, like why can't we just have both theater and streaming at the same time, like for permanently? Because like I feel like it would work out for everybody's best interest in the end. That's just my personal opinion.
I think they're doing that now with HBO Max, like they're doing that as a test run, releasing their movies the same day on their streaming service as well as in theaters wherever theaters are
Yeah,
open.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you're like luckily for me, the theater that I will go to is about 20 minutes away from me now. The one that's real close to me is about a good 10-minute, maybe less than that drive. But because of the state that I'm in, I don't think there's any theaters open in the state of Maryland. It could be some, but I don't know. They may be far out. But the one for me that's right across the bridge in Virginia is about 20 minutes away that is open. So I do have that option. But I think it actually might work out. A lot of people were kind of against it at first because a lot of people wanted the theatrical experience. Some people really didn't care either way. But it's just
But
I think it's just a trial run at this point. But I think if they play their cards right, it might actually work and pay off in the end. And it's going to be a testament to going forward to see what other companies do.
yeah, but at the same time, I feel like the theatrical side of things, that's really starting to get real played out, in my opinion. That's really starting to die out. I mean, that's why I said why not do both? Because there's still people who want that theater experience. So for the people who want the theaters, why not leave that option open for them? Or for everybody else who loves streaming and everything, like I do, which I plan on doing that more. I actually need to binge watch a lot of TV shows. But anyway, for anybody who wants to do that, like have both of those options. And here's another thing that I think I might have saw the other day. I saw that Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max. I watched it on HBO Max on Christmas Day, of course. But the reason why I brought that up is because I see it was like a limited run. I saw it was only going to be on there for a limited time. Like, see, that's the problem with these companies. Just leave it on there permanently. Like, why the hell you just got to leave it on there for a limited time? But maybe, like you said, it's just a test run. I don't know. What's your opinion?
I think they're doing they're doing it limited time because they're releasing all their entire slate on there. So I think they're going to do that with every movie. And then they have movies coming out every month. And I don't think they want them to clash against each other because they know if they do that, then people are not going to watch the other movies. So they say, okay, we'll keep this. They're trying to basically make it seem like, how in the movie theaters, the movie stays in the movie theater for a certain amount of time and then they pull it. That's what they're doing with their streaming service. They leave it up there for a limited time and then they pull it and then make room for the next movie to put on there, do the same thing and then pull it. And then once they go through their cycle, a few months has passed, then they'll put it on there and let it stay up there. Okay. Because basically what it is like, say for Wonder Woman 1984, like you mentioned, if they kept that on there, then if it runs into another movie, then who knows if people are going to view that other movie? They might still be watching the other one. So they probably want to pull it there so they bet like, look, there's no excuse they can't watch this one.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but yeah, I really hope they do like what you said, like pull it off for now and then put it back on. But maybe not specifically for Wonder Woman 1984 because I was not a big fan of that movie. I saw you did a review about it. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know what you thought about the movie, but I thought the movie was kind of shit. I mean, I thought it picked up a little bit during the end, but other than that, it was kind of a mediocre film. Just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know whether you enjoyed it or not.
I did to an extent. And I think it's because it's because they shot a lot of it in the area, and a lot of movies don't get shot in this area. So I was able to look at it, and so I was able to look at it and say, "Oh, I recognize this, I recognize that, and I recognize that."
Yeah, if you know any of the history about these productions, especially these big budget productions, I don't know if you remember, but that third Michael Bay Transformers movie, they actually came to Milwaukee for a short time. They actually planned on shooting some of their stuff here. As a matter of fact, they actually shot. I don't know if you ever heard of our art museum. They actually shot that scene with Patrick Dempsey in them and Shia LaBeouf's character. They actually shot that at the art museum. Like they had that whole design and everything.
Okay, I know that they shot parts of the second one in DC, and I remember it was a story that it was like a DC cruiser or something like that, driving, and they collided with the Bumblebee car. It wasn't a big, like it wasn't enough to total the car, but it was enough for them to have to halt production to get the car fixed. And I think it was because of that situation, which is why a lot of movies, especially those of that kind, chose not to shoot in DC anymore. And I think it was from that incident. Because the police car wasn't supposed to be driving around in that area. They were supposed to just be parked there. So they was like, why is this person moving? And it messed up the shot, and it messed up the car.
Yeah. I remember our local news here in Milwaukee. They made like a big stink. They made like a big deal out of it, like them coming to shoot the movie here in Milwaukee, because of course we're Milwaukee, so not a lot of attention, not a lot of attention unless you're talking about the Bucks, and crime is made towards us, So yeah, it's a pretty rough city if you read about us.
That could be said about quite a few cities.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see what else. Yeah, like I said, I was kind of nervous about coming on here before, but I kind of have to commend myself for at least taking the risk, and especially everybody else that came on here. I really enjoy seeing people get out of their comfort zone, including mine. So, because I usually don't jump on people's live often. So.
Okay. There's nothing to be nervous about. Are you still there? I don't know what happened. He didn't mute himself and he just went quiet. All right. Well, what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if he's coming back, so I'm gonna just go ahead and remove him from the stream, because I have another person that's trying to get in. But shout out to you, 007 Spidey 2, for coming up. And Ashton, I see that you're trying to get on, but it says device is not connected. So if you can get your stuff connected, then I'll be able to bring you up. Let's see. What's going on, boss lady?
Hello, guys. Hello, Torian.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
I just wanted to talk about the wealthy investor's attitude.
Go ahead.
Attitude that he has is,
yeah,
you can have something, but you can't have more than me.
Right.
You guys cannot have as much as I have. So I was trying to figure out what that is about, and do they also realize that they are eventually going to become the tail?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, have they ever even thought about that or considered it?
They probably didn't think about it. They probably didn't think that far ahead, and they probably are mad at technology right now. Because see, you heard his tone in the video. He made it seem like wealthy people are being oppressed, and that he was saying that fair share is a bullshit concept. Like, you just basically told us something that we have heard for such a long time, but we just never actually heard it out of the horse's mouth until today. And I'm glad that he said it, and he said it in such a tone where he meant it. He wasn't mincing his words. He meant every word that came out of his mouth, and that's how many of them feel. It's just that many of them are not going to actually come outright and say it, but he said it because he felt that was on his heart. Like, he felt he was, because they were in a position of losing. They were losing to the little guy, and they didn't like that. because
That's true.
because they're always used to having their foot on our neck. And the minute that we come out from under and start to do, for self and start winning in places like this that they didn't expect us to, number one, to even get into,
Right.
that's a blow to them. So they had to do whatever they had to do in order to try to halt people investing, and people was upset, and rightfully so.
Yeah, they have every right to be upset, but investing wouldn't be the only place that they would take these L's at.
Right.
Because a lot of us are becoming business owners.
Exactly.
We don't want to work for the man no more.
Mm-hmm.
So we're finding ways to become self-sufficient and independent and not really needing them. So I'm just wondering, I believe this is the beginning. They're really finna start acting a fool for real.
Right.
They just getting started. And
All right.
that's all I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I know that there's going to be many, more people that's going to come out, with this same attitude.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you, Solo, though, for the super chat. Said when people like him jump out of a window, I don't care. Neither will I.
Me neither. I feel like you, Terrain. I feel absolutely nothing. I don't care.
As a matter of fact, if he does hop out of a window, we need to find out so we can get that music going.
Yes, cue the violins. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I know they're gonna take many more L's, and I just want us to be careful because and just kind of stay out of their way.
Right.
Because they're gonna be enraged every time we turn around. They're gonna be on the attack.
Of course. Okay, well, it was good talking to you.
Okay, you too. Thanks for listening.
All right, you have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
I don't know why I took myself out of my own stream. But anyway, I am back. Okay, I see 007 Spidey 2 is back on here. I don't know what happened. Like, it's just like you kind of
Yeah. My apologies for that. You know how this internet is. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, my apologies on my end.
Okay, no problem. Was there anything else that you had to say before you ended it? Because you probably be the last one.
Yeah. I won't be taking too much of your time, although I can talk all day, but I'm not gonna waste too much of your time. Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, there's a lot of stuff I gotta get to binging. I hear WandaVision is very good.
It is good. Like, I saw the episode today. The last 2 episodes was very good, but today's episode was extremely good. Like, in this is 9 episodes. This was the 4th one, so there's 5 more left. And then it's crazy. After this show ends, it goes right into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I can't. I'm liking the direction it was going, because a lot of people were skeptical about this show looking at it, but now we are really getting into the nitty gritty of this show, which I'm loving. So I can't wait to see what next week's episode is going to bring.
Yeah, it's great that they made a whole TV show of their relationship, because me being a huge Marvel fan, I obviously in the comics they were a couple, so rather than making a whole movie devoted to it, it's very good that they make all these TV series and all these opportunities out of all the legendary comics of yesteryear.
Yeah, I don't think this would have worked as a movie. It wouldn't have worked as a movie. I'm glad they made it into a show.
Exactly. And then, like I told you before on my last stream, I still have to get around to watching the Wire. I am so eager to watch that show. I don't know what's holding me back
please
from
watch
watching.
It's definitely a classic.
Exactly. And in my personal opinion, to me, that was like one of the very few last within like the last 2 decades. That's one of the very few last original ideas from Hollywood or Hollyweird. That's just me personally talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think maybe I'm being a little bit biased because The Wire did take place in Baltimore, even though I'm not from Baltimore, but I'm it's in the same state. And I'm only about 45 minutes from Baltimore. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that attracted me to The Wire is its authenticity because of how the environment looks. They didn't really have to like dress it up a certain way to give that feel or give that look of how run down Baltimore, or at least that part of Baltimore is. Like they literally went with the environment. It really looks like that up there in that part of Baltimore. Like you have that part, then you have like the county, you have the city and everything like that. But that part, of course, that's the hood. Like you go through there, and if you go through there, it looks just like that. As a matter of fact, there's this place called Reisterstown in Maryland that almost looks just like Baltimore. Like when I look at it, I was like, are we in Baltimore or are we in Reisterstown? Because they look just alike.
Yeah. Now this might be a typical question from me to you, but really quickly run down your top 5 in your personal opinion, your top 5 favorite characters of that show.
Well, in no particular order. I liked Michael. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like that season. Season 4 and up, like the one with the school. Those were some of my favorite seasons of that show. I liked Omar. Who didn't like Omar? he was a fan favorite.
He killed my man Stringer though. He killed my man Stringer.
Yeah, he did. Idris Elba. Yep. And it's crazy how Omar got killed. Who would have thought? That's how he would have went out. But that little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? What's going on, Kendra? Who else? I wanted to like Wallace's character, but he did too much. But shout out to Michael B. Jordan. Like, he I hate to say it, but he deserved his death.
What?
Because
he's one of the best
did.
of our time.
He did. But his character had to go. Who else? What is his name? I like Barksdale.
You talking about Avon or D'Angelo?
Avon.
Yeah, people say that season 5 is like the least good season. I mean, obviously I don't know because I still have to binge watch the show, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention last time is I really enjoyed you in For My Man, that episode. I thought you did pretty good for the bit that you were in.
Thank you. Like, I'm surprised you still remember that. It felt so long ago. I remember. It's crazy because it was actually in January when we shot that episode, and I remember it being so cold and it's crazy that episode was supposed to have a spring theme because the actual murder of that boy happened in the spring. But we had to shoot it in January, at the end of January, and we remember how cold it was. Like, it was cold, and we had to shoot at night. Like, that part when we was like standing outside, it was cold. Like, we had to pretend that it was warm. Like, we couldn't wait for them to yell cut so we could run back in that house and put on these big jackets that they had for us, like, and everything like that. But it was fun shooting. And the crazy thing about it is, and I think I might have mentioned it in my live stream, but I didn't mention it. I probably, people may have forgotten, but the day that I shot the first episode was also the same day as my cousin's funeral. So literally we had to go to his funeral like in that morning and then had to leave so I can get to the set that afternoon. But we never told anybody why we had to leave early, or I never told anybody why I had to leave early, because they couldn't know what I was doing, because we basically signed a form, like an NDA form. So they couldn't know what we were doing until much later on. And then that's when I told them, I said, remember the day of so-and-so's funeral when I had to leave early? That's why I had to leave.
Yep. So,
but yeah, it was fun. No, I was only there. I only did a 2-day shoot. And my part actually was not that big. I spent more time. I spent more time in the holding area, which was the basement of the house in which we shot that at, rather than upstairs. I actually was able to take this long nap. And even when I woke up, they still weren't ready for me. So, but it was fun. And we actually shot that whole episode in that one location. But the way that it was shot, you would think we was in multiple locations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the genius of TV, man. So let me get this straight. You're an actor. You're an actor too. I mean,
I've done some acting. I remember when I don't even have to ask you if you know this, but you already know about the Winter Soldier, right? Captain America.
Yeah.
I had a little background part in that movie. The part when they was in the museum.
Yep.
I was in that part right there. Like, I was one of the people that was coming down was I coming down the escalator, or I was walking on the hall? It was something like that. And it was amazing how they had that set up, because it was shot in the Air and Space Museum. And what they did was they had these Captain America banners that they made, like the prop department had made, and they had them hanging. So when we walked in there, it was like we literally walked into a Captain America museum. And
exactly.
And when it was done, we saw them take the banners down and put the old ones back up. So it's amazing how they switched all of that stuff around. And also, that was the day before, like, the main actors, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, and Anthony Mackie, they were there the day before. But when we shot that scene, they were already in Chicago shooting the other scenes. So we just missed them.
Oh, you guys just missed them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was more of a landscape shot, so it wasn't even a long shoot. We was only there for like 2 hours, and that's incredible for a film shoot, because them things can last all day.
Yeah. The reason why I brought that up is because I'm a actor as well, and I was just wondering, like, what like if you were planning on doing that professionally or not. If there's any tips you could give me.
I'll do them, like, if they come. As a matter of fact, I almost had if I had caught the email in time, I would have actually had a small, maybe background part or something in Wonder Woman 84, because they shot that in this area. But I missed the email. Like, when they sent out the notification, I missed it by like 2 weeks. So if I would have saw it, they probably would have put me in the mall scene or something like that. I don't know where they would have put me at, but I actually know somebody personally who was in that movie, who actually had some good screen time and actually had a couple of lines. I know somebody personally.
You don't, it's probably good that you would keep that secret.
Well, I mean, I was going to listen. I was kind of upset that I, didn't get to do it. I know some people like had their reservations and everything, like, about the movie and whatnot, but hey, that looks good on the resume.
Yeah. Another thing, and like I said, I won't take up your time too long. I've already have taken up a lot of your time. But going back to The Wire, another thing, it seems like they gave McNulty a lot of shit. They were on his ass, but in a way, it seems like he may have deserved it. I don't know.
Everything pretty much came to the end the way that it was supposed to on that show. It started off good and ended good. I actually heard from, like, the creators of the show. They said they didn't expect the show to go as long as it did, but they said the fans, they just kept wanting more. They just kept coming back. Their fan base just kept increasing every season that they kept going. So I think they said originally they were only going for like 5 seasons, and they loved it so much that they went 3 more seasons. So that's incredible that the show lasted as long as it did, especially a show of that kind, and it was a majority Black cast.
I thought it was 5 seasons last time I checked.
Let me I can look it up right now and see how many seasons did The Wire, because I could have sworn it was 8. But let me see. Okay, you're right. It did have 5 seasons. You were right.
Yeah. But which is not, which I don't mind. I mean, like that's great. I mean, like not every show has to have 10, 15, 20 plus seasons like SVU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the show started in 2002 and ended in 2008.
Yep. That's a pretty good run for a HBO show back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I still also want to get around to watching I have no intention right now of watching Game of Thrones, but I do want to watch eventually Oz because that seems like another groundbreaking show.
I never watched Oz, but I did watch Game of Thrones, and I didn't think that was a show I was going to get into until I just happened to one day just sit down and watch an episode. I just watched one episode of the first season and got pulled in from there and was watching every episode on the binge. And I said, "Oh, the new episode comes on Sunday," because I think this was towards the end of their 6th season. And I said, "Oh, bet hopefully I can binge watch this entire season in a week." And I did, and was prepared and caught up by the time Sunday rolled around. And the show was good, but that last season was horrible. I'm sure you probably have heard that last season was bad. The first couple of episodes of the last season were good, but then everything else was just bad, and it just made the whole season look horrible. But all in all, the first 7 seasons are good. Season 8, which is supposed to be like that Paramount season, like that final season that everything comes together for a close, did not hit well. And I think that just kind of ruins a lot of the show, because like he had all this build up and then this is what you ended off with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course I eventually got to get to Mr. Soprano with the Sopranos.
I never watched the Sopranos, and I think they're actually about to give his character a movie, like an origin story.
Oh wow, like we really need to see that. See that's originality for you. That's sarcasm, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually about to end the stream in a little bit.
Yeah. I was about to get off anyway. Thanks for letting me on again, Mr.
And see, look, now you aren't even nervous anymore. I think Stephanie said that in the chat. You're not even nervous anymore. You stayed up here for longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks, man. Especially after that little internet thingy earlier. Thanks for letting me on again, sir. And I guess I might come on next month. Thanks a lot.
Oh, no problem.
All right, thanks.
All right. Well, that was the last person that I was bringing on today. Shout out to everybody who came through for the stream. Shout out to everybody who contributed. Shout out to anybody who subscribed. If you have not texted that number to join the community so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video, please do that now. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow with our regular lineup of videos at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. Season 5 Eastern Standard Time. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you in the next one.